Welcome back. In this section, we're going to talk about the self, yourself, right? We're going to talk about two components actually within the self. The first one is talking about you, that's in this canvas as me, and the next one is what's around you. And the reason why we want to walk through that is because what we notice, the resilient entrepreneurs had really done these kinds of steps, sometimes unintentionally, most of the times not even aware that they've done it. And looking back and reflecting on my own journey and with everyone else's journey that I worked with or interviewed or talked to or worked or learned from, it was clear to me that this is exactly what they might have done. Now, there will be some things here and there that's beyond what we're discussing, but these are, I'm going to call them the foundations that seem to be consistent with all the entrepreneurs that I worked with that were able to work through rough times. As you may know, we've worked mainly with underserved, underrepresented, or a minority group in many settings, whether it's a war zone or whether it's a COVID or it's a different pandemic back in 2008 or any other pandemic. We've been able to work with them and we noticed what they were doing or not doing or what they might have told you, not told you. And those kinds of insights I'm sharing here with you is really the process of what got them through to keep their business running. So let's go through and talk about the self. The first section we're going to talk about is me, and then we're going to talk about what's around me. So let's talk about me. In this section, we're going to talk about 5 components under me, okay? The first one is we're going to talk about acknowledge. And what we're talking about here is acknowledging that there is a challenge or you're facing some kind of difficulties or you're going through a process. So the acknowledgement is the first one. The second one is the freak out. And you'll notice that yes, it says freak out, and it's okay to freak out. One of the things I learned working with entrepreneurs and having my own journey, gone through it, is that you might not think it's okay to freak out. You might think it's not okay for you to share that you're freaking out. And I want you to know that it's okay to freak out. Now, I will also say this. You can't freak out for the next 2 days, 2 weeks, or 2 years. You gotta freak out really quick and move on, right? And this is the third step. You gotta move to action. Once you freak out, you acknowledge that you have a challenge, you freaked out about it or whatever you had to do, now you gotta move to action. What does that mean? Come up with a plan. Come up with what you're going to be doing to make this work. Come up with a plan of back to that mindset. I see an opportunity, I could be providing a new service. I see an opportunity, I could be providing a new product. I see an opportunity to break some of the product or service that I have. Whatever that is, come up with an actionable plan that allows you to move forward. Fourth one, of course, you want to make sure in this category, you want to check the facts. In times of difficulties, people just seems to think that they could just say statements. And when they say statements, whether it's true or not, or especially in today's social media era, someone just retweets something or someone just reposts something without checking the facts. You gotta check the facts. You gotta make sure that the information that you are receiving is absolutely correct. And I'll give you a specific example. Back in March of 2020, when I started researching what is really gonna happen with COVID, well, most people said 2 weeks. I learned really quick from some of the reports I was reading, not that I'm an expert, because I'm no expert in the healthcare. I'm just like everyone else, going to the doctor once a year or whenever I have to. And I just read what they said. What did the doctors say in this space? What did the experts in this field say? And most reports said it's going to be somewhere between 18 months to 3 years on a short term and up to 10 years long term. Now, I know back then people wanted to probably punch me, and thank God I was on Zoom, so maybe they didn't have that chance. But I feel like those who listened and paid attention to it were able to plan a little bit differently and be well prepared and equipped to go through the process. And if you haven't figured this out, you might be listening to this today, and in fact, I'm recording it while this has been exactly 2 years. It was October 2019 when they broke out this COVID, and today is December 2021, and it's still happening, and we're talking about another shutdown in March, and some countries are still shut down. I'm not telling you this to brag in any way because I'm no bragger. I'm sharing this because I want you to understand you gotta check the facts, and when you check the facts, then you can make your life a little bit easier to know how to plan for this. What kind of cash flow do you need? Can you manage your life a little bit differently, because it might take a minute. Now, the good news, of course, I always say this, is by October next year, it'll be already 3 years. So the 18 months to 3 years short term seems like we're almost there, and we're almost going to be done with that. And now we just have to keep going with this new normal that you might be thinking about. So that's really what I'm talking about here, about this checking the facts. Make sure that you check the facts. The last thing I'm going to say about this me, you want to make sure that you check the sources of those facts. So whenever I tell you something about entrepreneurs or about leadership or anything like that, you could check my facts because I could tell you the resources where I got that or I learned from. When we talk about healthcare, you want to check who's saying this healthcare. Faris says it's going to take 18 months to 3 years. Who's Faris? Faris is nobody, right? So you need to go back and now go to the medical records, go back to medical reports and see what the doctors are saying and what at least the majority of them are agreeing to. It is a practice, we all know that, but that's the reality of what needs to happen. Check the sources of those facts. So not only check the facts, but check the sources of those facts. That's really all about you as you're getting started with this. So think about you and all these 5 components. I'll recap them one more time. Acknowledge that you have a challenging time or you're facing something or you're going through a process. It's okay to freak out, but you can't stay freaked out. You gotta freak out and move on. And then you gotta move to actions. And then you wanna check your information and you wanna check or the facts and you wanna check those sources of that information. Thanks for being with us. Now let's move on to the acknowledge, what's around you. So we talked about you, now we're gonna talk about what's around you. And then what you will notice in around you, there are also 5 more components in there. And they're really simple, and you probably might have done this already. And I wanna make sure that you see this framework, so now you can go back and reference it. And maybe once you learn this process, you can duplicate it and do it for any other challenging times that you might face, because this is all about being resilient, all right? So let's talk about what's around me. Now, of course, I'm talking about you, but in this case, we can say around me. That's what's on the canvas with you. What's around you is really simple. You wanna first think about leverage. You want to think about what can you leverage with what you have. Because you got to look around you, right? In the house, in the office, anywhere. And right now we're just thinking about the personal things, although it does apply to your office. And I'm focused in this conversation about business, although many people who've gone through the course told me that, Faris, I could apply this to my personal life. Fantastic, and you should. And I'm happy to walk you through that as well. But in this program, I'm walking you through just the business side of it. So look around you, look and see what you could be doing with what you have. Leverage what you have and look around you. The second thing I want to say is stop worrying about what you can't control. So let go of what you cannot control. I can't control that someone is telling me I can't do this or I can't do that. But I can control how I react to it. What can I do about it? So I'm not telling you also don't resist when something that you want to change and you can't control it. Not at all. There are some things that will just take time. So you're going to have a process and a procedure or a strategy of how you're going to do that, whether it's lobbying to change policy or lobbying or making sure that your voices are heard. Those things can be done. I'm just saying you got to let go for them at the moment because you got to work with what you have. So first, leverage what you have. Look around, see what you could be leveraged. Maybe you have an extra room in your house that could be converted to an office, maybe a studio, maybe a storage. Maybe you have a garage that you're not parking your car in that could be done, use it for something else. Whatever that case is, look around what you can leverage. Then stop worrying about what you can't control, let go of that, and then take these challenges and think about them as an opportunity. And I'll give you a few examples of some of the restaurants, some of the places we work with. Some of the places, for instance, a restaurant said, we have a challenge, we have all the space and we can't really get anyone seated because no one's allowed to come. Just can't worry about what I can't control of letting them come in or not coming. But I have this space, what can I do with it? Well, it's an opportunity. Maybe I could have some other items that people might be interested in buying when they're buying food, such as maybe fresh salad for the next day. You could make your own, maybe fruit, maybe some accessories for the house. Things of that nature. So they started actually using the space to get more organized and sell more items that people could be appreciative of because they were next to a grocery store. Say, hey, if you want to get the stuff, you could still come pick it up from here. Now, of course, later on, some of these grocery stores caught on and said, we could also have, curbside pickup. But initially, many restaurants took advantage of that and they were able to make a little bit of extra cash to allow them to stay in business, leveraging the resources that they have, which is the space that they had. I'm giving you that as an example, and you might think, I'm stuck, I can't do that, I'm something else. Stop thinking that way. I'm just giving you that example for you to think about what can you leverage with what you have and letting go of what you can't control and worrying about what you can control and looking at those challenges as opportunities. Of course, we would love to talk to you in a coaching session on how you could do that if you're stuck somewhere. But I'm sharing here with you in this program what you could do on yourself by going through this process and walking through those steps. Let's think about the last two actions here about self and what's around you. Repurpose. What does repurpose mean? It's similar to the leverage, right? So you looked around and you saw a room that you are not using, you want to leverage it. Now you could repurpose it, right? What does repurpose mean? Well, right now it's used as second bedroom. Well, no guests are going to be coming to your house anytime soon, right? At least now. So what can you do to make it repurposed? Can you use it for an office? Can you use it for a recording? Can you use it for a place for you to read? Can you use it for a place for you to take a breather? Whatever the scenario is. Or the other way around. You had an office, can you convert to a bedrooms because maybe you need to be resting more? Or you need to isolate someone because they need to be isolated for 5 or 10 days. Think through what you could repurpose. That's really what we're talking about here with step number 4. And then the last thing is, when you look around you, you might have to lead and move forward, right? You might have to be noticing that no one else is doing it, you gotta do it. So lead and move forward is the 5th step of this around me. So now we have just covered the self component, which is me and around me, and we talked about roughly 10 items that could be done within these 2 actionable sides of this canvas. And then we finished the mindset, so now we talked about the self and the around me, and now we're going to move to the business side of things. Thanks for being with us.